Welcome back to the Wine Crush. I'm Laura Lawson, your favorite Chardonnay sipping diva. And right now, I would like to welcome Morgen McLaughlin. She's the president of the Finger Lakes Wine Country Tourism Marketing Association, and she's going to join us to talk about what's going on the East Coast for a change. Morgen, welcome to the Wine Crush.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Oh, this is fun. It's nice to get another opinion from my side of the country.
Yes, and we're Riesling sippers out here, so.
Ah, Riesling sippers. See, we got to work on you. You got to sip, you got to guzzle. It depends on the time of the year. And from what I understand, you're in the same boat as the West Coast. You're going to have a lot of Riesling to be guzzling, aren't you?
The last couple of years, vineyards have had very good yields at harvest. This year, actually, yields are down, so I think we're going to be kind of evening out.
Oh, there we go. That's the first bright spot I've heard from anybody. Every time I talk to someone from Australia, France, or California, all they talk about is the tide of juice that's rolling in.
Mm-hmm.
So with y'all having a little below than average harvest, does that mean we're going to see less Finger Lakes wine this year?
Not at all. I mean, I think the Finger Lakes, we mostly sell our wines directly from our tasting rooms.
Okay.
And in the last couple of years, there's been a real focused effort on broadening distribution and getting our wines outside of our tasting rooms. So, in fact, you're going to be seeing more Finger Lakes wines throughout the country.
I think that's an asset, without a doubt. For our listeners, break it down for us. What are the Finger Lakes, and tell us about your specialties.
Well, the Finger Lakes is located in upstate New York, specifically in central New York. It's a very large wine-producing region, and in fact, we have over 9,000 acres in production, both for wine grapes and table grapes. So we're big in total grape production. The Finger Lakes themselves, there are 11 skinny lakes that, when you look at a map, look like fingers on a hand. And they were formed by glaciers thousands of years ago. And those skinny lakes, combined with the glacial soils, create a perfect climate and soil to grow vinifera wine grapes.
Now, I know a lot of my listeners, especially those that are joining us from Texas and the West Coast, they're thinking, my God, it snows in New York and Buffalo and Syracuse and all that area all the time. How can it be a perfect climate for growing grapes?
Well, and we battle with that no matter where we go, because people do think upstate New York and they think Buffalo. But the Finger Lakes are about 2 hours east of Buffalo, and the climate is moderated by the lakes and is very similar to other parts of the East Coast. So we don't get buried in snow. We are open year-round, and we obviously don't get cold enough to kill grapevines. And so, many of the varietals do survive here without any problems.
So it's kind of like the Mosel in Germany, kind of like the Rhine Valley effect?
Yes, very much.
Okay. Well, of course, logic would dictate with that kind of looking at the German varietals. Are you mostly Riesling and Gewürztraminer up there?
Yes, Riesling is our signature varietal. We have a perfect combination, soil, climate, and we also benefit from not many other regions in the U.S. doing Riesling well. Obviously, Oregon, Washington, and California, and other states do Riesling and do it well, too. But the Finger Lakes, we've been able to kind of create a niche for ourselves that makes us competitive nationally and internationally. And then also Gewürztraminer does well. Pinot Gris, we do a fair amount of, too.
Well, that's definitely the good varietals, things that people are focusing on. You were talking about a lot of people selling out of their tasting room. Mm-hmm. Are there any major producers from that area that our listeners would know day in and day out?
Probably the most famous is Dr. Constantine Frank, and that winery is located on a smaller lake, Keuka Lake, and has distribution in 35 U.S. states.
Well, if our listeners can't really go to their local Mega Mart and see a Finger Lakes selection, what is the best place for them to find your wines or to experiment with your wines?
Well, most wineries these days do or have embraced online selling. Obviously, each state it can be restrictive in terms of direct shipping. But if you go to the FingerLakesWineCountry.com website, we have a winery database, and each winery we have a link to their online shopping cart. So it makes it easier for a visitor trying to buy wines online.
Well, this is kind of going to put you on the spot. What's the exciting thing about Finger Lakes? What makes your area so exciting that people will need to come visit? They need to try your wines. They need to run out right now to go with their Thanksgiving bird.
Well, Riesling is a perfect pairing for Thanksgiving dinner. So when you're looking for the perfect holiday wine, Riesling, no matter what category you look at, is good. Two, the Finger Lakes is one of the most affordable, if not the most affordable, wine country destination in the U.S. So if you're looking for value in 2010 to do a wine vacation, Finger Lakes should be top of the list.
All right. That's what we like hearing. I was talking earlier about roller coaster red in this economy. We all want a value. I think a lot of people, when they talk about wine destinations, they're spoiled, say, by Napa Valley. I can get on Highway 29 and basically bar hop. Mm-hmm. What is it like up in the Finger Lakes? Is it something similar? Do you have to drive for a while? Give me a lay of the land up there.
It's very similar to Napa Valley. We are a little bit further from major metropolitan areas. So, if you fly into New York City, it's a 4-hour drive. So we do recommend flying either into Corning or Rochester.
Okay.
Rochester is the larger of those two airports. It's about a 45-minute drive. Once you get into wine country, we have over 100 wineries. And if you visit the largest lake, which is Seneca Lake, there are 56 wineries scattered around the lake, and literally one after another.
Oh, that sounds great. When you say scattered around the lake, I don't suppose we can go do a boat tour, can we?
There are a few wineries that are accessible by boat, and there are lots of boat charters that you can do a day trip and visit a few wineries along the way.
What about as far as amenities, places to stay? Give me a feel of the overall experience. You said it was more value-driven. Is it bed and breakfast? Is it local hotels? What are the restaurants like?
There is a combination of local B&Bs, major hotel chains, as well as independent hotel motel properties, lots of camping. I think what makes Finger Lakes different than, say, Napa Valley is that we don't have that upper tier accommodation.
Right.
So our high-end property ranges around $200 a night.
Oh, wow, that is valuable.
And that's lakefront, that's brand new, that's, outstanding property, but it's, you're not going to find something for $1,000 a night.
I was about to say big difference between that kind of view and, say, staying at a Burge for $1,500 a night.
Exactly. And restaurants, it's a very clear focus on local foods. So we have a lot of local farmers. It's very agricultural up here. So in between wineries, you'll see dairy farms, you'll see local cheese makers, you'll see apple orchards. And so a lot of those foods do get incorporated and used by the local chefs.
Well, it sounds very similar to what you'd see out in California,
yeah.
Without a doubt. Obviously, it's fun to focus on something different, and we know that y'all do the Riesling, and we know that you do the Gewürztraminer. But if you had to look at it, what is the heart and soul of Finger Lakes? What is the wine that totally defines it?
Riesling, without a doubt. But if you wanted to look broader in the wine category, it's aromatic whites with bright acidity, perfect for food pairing. Most wines average around $15 a bottle, even from our top producers. So it's that white category that it's pretty amazing right now.
Well, this all sounds very exciting. And Morgan, I do appreciate you taking time to be on the Crush. Like I said, it's nice to hear from my East Coast brethren. We are going to post your web link on, of course, the Wine Crush website. But if you would repeat it for our listeners one more time.
Sure. It's fingerlakeswinecountry.com.
All right. Well, Morgan, thank you very much for being part of the Crush. And hopefully we can get back to you, I don't know, maybe in May and take a trip up there ourselves.
Oh, for Riesling month. That would be a good time.
All right. Well, maybe we'll meet face-to-face one day.